Hello everybody. Topic of this video, we're going to address the current shortage of mechanics. Now, if you've looked at you on YouTube at all, you notice there's a whole bunch of videos that talk about that that particular topic. And one of the best ones is from Uncle Tony's Garage, where he basically goes into detail. Not so much about the shortage of mechanics, but what's wrong with fixing cars now. I mean, you can buy a brand new part in a box, and it comes to you screwed up to where it doesn't even work. So they, as a result of that, you have people or don't really want to be car mechanics. But the problem's a little bigger than that. And what I'm going to go into here is something very significant happened in 1963 in the automotive world. If you know anything about cars, if you're kind of like a car researcher, or you're just into cars, you know that Chrysler Corporation introduced a car with a turbine engine. And the story with that is pretty similar to the story of the EV1. There was a whole bunch of people who actually wanted to buy the car outright, but the company would only lease it to it. The cars had to be returned in a year, and when they were returned, they all disappeared. And at the end of the program, the CEO of Chrysler basically point blank told people in a public address that had that practice become commonplace, there would be no mechanics, because the only thing you needed to do to overhaul those engines was to blow some steam through it and clean it out. Now, I think what we're seeing things come full circle, because there's no real need for the complexity that you see in a modern car. In fact, there's no need for the complexity you saw in cars that have been made for the last 30 years. There's a shining example of this. You look at something like a catalytic converter. A catalytic converter is a very heavy and expensive piece of equipment that actually increases the pollution in your car, because it takes usable, burnable hydrocarbons, turns them into carbon dioxide. And if you know anything about chemistry, you know that carbon dioxide extinguishes combustion. It doesn't promote it. Your car's electronics are basically there. Well, I'm talking about the sensors, basically because of the crummy grade of gasoline that we use. So basically what we're dealing with is with a system that is dying of its own mediocrity. I don't know a really nice way to put it, but you'll notice that the best system, the optimized model, is the one we don't use. External combustion is vastly superior to internal combustion, and I'll give you a shining example of that. If you have a piston engine with a high compression ratio, you got to put premium gas in it. There has to be chemicals added to the gasoline to keep the engine from knocking. If your car has a steam turbine in it, that fuel has to burn. That's basically the only requirement it has. It has to burn. So what we're doing, we've been chasing our tails for the last 100 years using technology that, quite frankly, the only reason the technology exists is it supports the make work economic model we live under. So at any rate, what you see in this illustration, this could literally be your car's engine as one moving part. The only thing it's missing would be a steam generator sitting up here making steam, but that's some coils of tubing and a burner and an igniter. So if your car doesn't start in the morning, chances are good you can trace it down to the igniter isn't working. And that's something you'd probably change out in 5 minutes. There have been cars developed over the last, I don't know, 30 years that you could pull the engine and transmission out of them in 5 minutes, which, as nice as that sound, wouldn't be necessary because there's engines that never wear out and need no maintenance. But you notice that there's none of those in the car you're driving. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and tie the video up. If you have any thoughts, any questions, you want to tell me I'm full of crap, go ahead and leave it in the comment box. And thank you very much for watching the video.